You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
We are the Madmen of Masculinity.
Your home for healthy masculinity. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, I'm Kirk M. Samuels.
And I am Jason B. Kendrick.
And we are the Madmen of Masculinity.
That's right. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
You know what the deal is. We're on KLDC 1220 AM in the Mile High City. We're also on the interwebs everywhere. So on Mondays, generally speaking, we record our hour-long show that then gets edited down and broadcast over the FCC-controlled airwaves here in the Mile High City and then all on the website. Yeah, that's why we can't, say everything we want to say because, we accountable to some stuff. Don't want to get a fine. Then we come back later on in the week and we do like a little shorter conversation about something. And just to keep it fresh, just to keep it popping, just to keep it happening, to keep it crackling like some Rice Krispies. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. I mean, and it's nice to have this other kind of uncensored, more open platform kind of thing, so we can be a little more real, a little more serious. I mean, still it's YouTube and all that stuff, so there's certain words we can't say and stuff, but we're not that big, so I think we can get away with saying stuff. Right. Put that pin away, man. I heard that.
See, oh man, you heard me. I got busted, dude. It's right here in my hand, dude. It's right here in my hand. I got busted. Man, I get all fidgety, man, and I just,
get your egg, man.
There's that thing, man. I don't like that thing, man. You gave me this egg, this thing. It looks like a blue testicle, man. And look at all the wrinkles on that thing, man. I'm just saying, dude. I don't, it just makes me feel weird, man. It just makes me feel
it's part of a grip training kit. Train your grip, man. You need that grip.
I don't know what kind of training kits you get, but I ain't never got no training kit with no blue egg testicle looking thing, man. Look at the wrinkles in that thing, man. That thing looks weird, man.
This is a perfect segue to this conversation because that ain't that important. That ain't that how it looks. It's all about the function, and you're all about what's it look like? Oh, it makes me feel weird. That's not important.
That is actually a great segue, man. Because what is important, and but I mean, I think that's relevant. I mean, I think it may not be important, but it's very relevant, man.
I mean that's relevant to your opinion, which I mean, these are things we all have to deal with and understand and accept. That everybody's got different opinions. I thought it was just an egg with some grip, and you went all weird with it.
It just gets weird, man. It's just really like, I don't know where you got this thing, but man, whoever made this thing, they got problems, man. Like, seriously, how do you get like all of those wrinkles in there, man? I don't know, man.
Whatever. It's in the mold, man. It's in the mold.
So we had this great conversation, man, the other day, and you want to give a recap on that one or what?
Yeah, we had Mr. Dan Gomer on, and he's one of those like 2-3 percenters, 6'5". He makes a bunch of money as a real estate guy. Used to be a basketball coach and a science teacher and all that stuff. And he had a little adventure. He told his wife, we could just sell all of our stuff, move down to Costa Rica, and retire today. And she was like, okay, pump your brakes. Let's go visit first. And so they had this 5 weeks, I think he said, that they went down there, and it gave him a whole new perspective on life, and maybe simplicity might actually be bliss. The less that you buy into the static and the noise out there, and the more you go internal and quiet, the happier you become. And then it got us thinking, like, well, that goes right into what's really important in life. And I mean, I know most of us won't know until we get to the end of life, and then we look back and go, oh, 90% of what I thought was important wasn't important at all. So we wanted to come on here and maybe give you a little heads up, like, a lot of the stuff that we get told, a lot of stuff that we focus on are things that are just advertised to us, prescribed to us, kind of put on us to think that's important. And really, but at the end of the day, it's not.
Yeah. I think what's important is, first of all, give a shout out, man. A couple of shout outs. Shout out Castle Rock Men's Health. You know what I'm saying? Castle Rock Men's Health coming on as a commercial sponsor for Madmen and Masculinity, man, Madmen Radio. And then our main rapper scapper, Mr. Barry Overton, coming up on bat. So y'all gonna be hearing, Barry, man, he's a guru around town, man. He's like one of those. He's kind of a Yoda like figure. That doesn't mean he's green and little, although they have the same haircut. But but I mean, he's around, man. Real estate, just success, motivation, all those kinds of things, man. He's more connected than Comcast, man. He's more connected than Spectrum Internet, man. And so we're happy to have him on board as a paid commercial sponsor, man. We doing that. I feel like we got some momentum, man. We got some great shows scheduled coming up in the future, man. This weekend on with Kianga Ford, man, talking about men's work with the whole Barbie thing she put out.
Your boys are everywhere, man. We're everywhere.
What's happening, man? Don't sleep on your boys, man. Don't sleep on your boys. We got some things in the works. We got some cooking going on, man.
All right, now tighten it up. Let's get on subject because they don't want to hear the commercial the whole time.
Hey, man, this is what's important.
I know
we're talking about what's important. These are the things that's important, man. And I think, but that being said, I think it's important. One of the things I think that's important is to pause and to celebrate and to acknowledge and to recognize advancement and as you move forward and all these other kind of things, man. I think that's one of the things that's important. I think a lot of times we do get focused on the grind and we don't take a moment to just kind of stop and pause and be like, okay, we may not be where we want to be, but we sure not where we were. If you look at these videos back 3, 4, 5 years ago, man, we both look different. Don't. You was a lot uglier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Was.
And
wasn't no
all
spring
that kind
chicken
of stuff,
either, though.
Well, no, I wasn't, man. But it is what it is. Black don't crack, dude. But you've been getting swole, man. Like, for real. I've been noticing that, man. You've been getting a little. Getting a little swole up in the gym ski, man. And so recognizing these things is important, man.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I love playing. Man. I love playing devil's advocate and being like, no, we got to get off. We got to do our thing. But you're absolutely right. Pausing and having some gratitude. Gratitude is the secret to all success. And,
that's the word.
And the secret to happiness really is to be present enough to have gratitude. So much of the static in the world has us following blips and dings on our phones and our computers and pulling our attention in 10,000 different ways. I mean, that's why going out in nature, doing something like 3-day effect or reset and going out to nature for 3 days and just grounding yourself, getting away from all the noise will help to reset you and get you back into a more centered state of groundedness and gratitude. I mean, a gratitude practice is really the secret to most people's happiness. I've done, I've spent probably $50,000 at this point on personal development work and retreats and books and seminars and coaching. And gratitude is at the top of the list. And, Princeton did a study, like a 20-year, 30-year study on what really makes people successful. Is it the, Harvard degree? Is it, this degree? Is it that degree? And what it really boiled down to was attitude. And attitude really comes down to, are you grateful or are you pessimistic? Are you glass half full or glass half empty? And stopping for a minute to go, hey, we're winning. We're doing something. We scored here instead of constantly moving on to the next thing. That's how you build that gratitude muscle. That's how you get probably building that happiness muscle.
Yeah, one of my guys, one of my squad PT, old Pastor Tom with Step 7, one of his favorite quotes. He said it, I don't know how many times at the golf tournament the other day, but it's hard to have a bad day when you have a thankful heart, man. And so I'm glad you really honed in on that word, man, gratitude, because I think you talk about what's important, man. That's, man, we have a lot, there for most of us, there's a lot of things that we wish could be better, man. There's a lot of things that we might have challenges and struggles, obstacles in life, all these different kind of things, man. But at the same time, man, there's a lot of things we got to be thankful for, man. There's somebody didn't wake up this morning. You know what I'm saying? I mean, somebody got a phone call from a doctor that changed everything that they knew was normal today. You know what I mean? And somebody had to say goodbye today to somebody that they've known for a very long time, if not their whole life, and so we have a whole lot of things, and sometimes it might be difficult to find, sometimes you got to look for the trees in the forest, but sometimes, man, you got to find opportunities to be thankful, man. And I'm so glad you that was the word I was kind of dancing around, and you latch right onto it, man. Just gratitude, man, being thankful. And that, I think that is one of the things, especially in our culture of more, where we worship more. And we talked about this the other day, where we worship more. And when you're in that grind, when you're in that kind of cultural mentality where it is, it's really hard to have enough, where it's always about the next thing and the next thing and 10x and all this other kind of stuff, is that, sometimes we don't stop and appreciate the things that we have, man. It's like we are the third world. Only a third of the world lives like us in America. And man, I got air conditioning vent. You talked about how hot your place was when you got home, and how we wanted to pause for the cause and let it cool down a little bit. You face west out of your patio door there, and the sunlight, and just, man, we got air conditioning, man, we got plumbing, we got electricity, man, we can order whatever we want to eat 24 hours a day, man. If nothing else, we're here, man. We're still alive, man. Most of us are supposed to be dead by now, but we're still here. And so, man, gratitude is one of the things that's got to be a foundation of a what's important conversation.
Yeah, I mean, number one, gratitude. Number two, presence. And I think that's one of the things that we miss so much. And I know it's so easy. We just get, talking about being distracted, being busy. You get, the older we get, the more the to-do list grows. And the best thing you can do for yourself, instead of trying to knock out that to-do list, is take more off the to-do list, shorten that to-do list, and get down to just the essentials. Because every day somebody's trying to add something to your to-do list. Every day your email and spam folder gets busier and bigger, and every day something else is added. And learning how to schedule in presence, learning how to schedule in time, and doing something for your mental health, for your family's health. When we get so much in the grind and then keeping up with the Joneses and on the hamster wheel of more, then you just lose presence, you lose time, you lose, even being able to like stop and smell the roses or appreciate a sunrise or sunset, or like the super blue moon we were having. Having those moments where you can kind of just stop and take a breath. And so many of us just, without even realizing it, get sucked into constant doing this and not being this, doing this. We're human beings, not human doings. We need to learn more about the beingness. And I think part of the mental health crisis in our country right now, part of the reason, self-deletion is so high, and a lot of the addiction rates are so high, is because we are on this rat race, this hamster wheel of more do. And it has become celebrated. How much can you work in a week? How little sleep can you get? How hard can you push it? It's been celebrated. And is so counter to a healthy lifestyle, a healthy mindset, just a healthy heart and body. So learning how to slow down and be present and take those things off your to-do list that you don't need to do. Learn how to say no. So respectfully, like, I appreciate the offer. No, it doesn't fit in my schedule. I have scheduled meditation. I have scheduled yoga. I have scheduled going to the gym. I have scheduled nothing, so I can sit on my patio or in the backyard, put my feet in the grass, and just be present for a moment. Your kids, your family just want your presence, not your presence. They don't need gifts all the time. They want your presence. Want you just be there and be with them.
That being said, let me be thankful for the blue testicle egg that you gave me, and the gift that it is. Let me be present with the moment that you gave me a present. And that being said, like, I'm not gifts is not one of my love languages, one of my high love languages anyway. But that being said, I'm thankful for somebody like you in my life, that you're the one of the reasons I'm not a gift guy, because like most of the time people don't get it right. Like for me anyway, most of the time it's like, I don't need that, man. I wouldn't wear that, or I don't, but somebody like you knock it out from my golf hat, man, to, at the golf tournament the other day, man, it was chilly in the morning, fall came in, but guess what? I went in my golf bag, pulled out nice Callaway blue jacket, sported that bad boy till the sun burned off. I can go on and on, but being present and recognizing just the small things, man. One of the things that you just said, man, I love is scheduling nothing, scheduling margin time, downtime, scheduling, in some face they call it a Sabbath, but scheduling just a nothing space. The only way you can read what's on the sheet of paper is because of the margin around it, because of the space in between the words. And so being able to schedule and factor in nothing has got to be one of the important things in life, man. And how often, you think about it, how often do we have opportunities for our feet, bare feet, to be on the ground, in the grass, whether it's in some sand or in the grass or in some water or something like that. Not talking about a shower or bath, but even that, man, I love taking me a bath, dude. I love, hate, don't hate, man. I'll get in the bathtub, man. Give me some little music. Maybe every now and then I get a little small glass, a little red wine sitting there, and listen to me some Sade, and man, I get a bit, give me some bubbles going on, man. Put some Epsom salt up in there, man. But either way, man, don't judge me. The scheduling that downtime is important, man. But when's the last time I had my feet in the grass? I don't know, man, but maybe it's time.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, like, I had this whole next week schedule. I was supposed to go out of town. I was going to go to Sedona to this conference, and I'm looking at just my schedule and the budget and everything else. I'm like, is this really the best use of my time? I can see the same conference. I can watch the recording. I can watch it live. I can do it right here. And I was like, maybe I'll push my time off back till next week or next month and take this time to be present and save some money. Because, it's exciting to go on trips. It's exciting to do things, but sometimes it's even more exciting and more healthy to just go, hey, let me simplify. Instead of driving 12 hours and staying at somebody else's house and going to a conference and being busy the whole time, and maybe I can stay here and relax and enjoy the same content, and then, save the money, save my time and my effort, save mileage on my truck. Having those kind of board meetings with yourself, like stopping and, that's one of the problems with not being present. Do you even have time to stop and ask yourself those questions? Like, do I really want to do that? Or is that the best use of my time and money and energy? Maybe there's a better use of my time and money and energy. Maybe I can do this in a, more streamlined way, or a way that works better for me. But if you don't have the time to stop and even think and ask yourself those questions, Tony Robbins says that the quality of your life correlates to the quality of the questions you ask yourself. And if you're not happy with the quality of your life, then you need to upgrade the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Well, how many of us nowadays don't even have time to ask ourselves questions? Only questions we ask ourselves is, what the fuck, when somebody cuts us off, or who the hell are you? We don't have the time half the time just to be present, ask ourselves questions.
You're absolutely right, man. You are completely right with that whole thing, man. I think we don't take the time to pause for the cause. By the way, pause for the cause. Kirk M. Samuels here with JBK, Jason B. Kendrick, Madmen of Masculinity. We broadcast live in a mile, or not live, but we broadcast over the airways, Mile High City, 1220 AM, KLDC. Shout out Crawford Broadcasting. We're thankful for y'all. And then we come back here, and so we want to know, put it, what are your thoughts in the comments? What kind of things do you think are important that we don't necessarily put a whole lot of focus on? We'd love to hear what you think, man. Are we right or wrong on some of these things? But what kind of things do you think are important in life, and what kind of things, on that last day, if we get the opportunity to be laying on a deathbed one day when we're old and dusty, thinking back on the 99 years of our life, what kind of things will you think is important that we should have focused on, man? And scheduling time off is one of, man. I scheduled, I had this past Monday and Tuesday off, and I got to, play golf one of those days. And the other day I got to hang out with that. One of the other days I got to hang out with my son. We hung out for a little bit. We was chilling. We went to the gym together, worked out. I'm still kind of sore. I'm trying to get swole like you.
Man, you try to keep up with your son right now. You're gonna hurt yourself.
No. I ain't keeping up with that fool. But we went there, we hung out, we did some stuff, man. But scheduling time off. How many of us have hundreds of hours of paid time off on the books at our jobs? And some of us would want to work and work and work. And if you were to drop dead today, your company would have somebody else at your desk, in your position, in your seat within a matter of a week or two. And so, how many of us schedule just time off to do nothing? I'm just going to schedule a Monday or Tuesday or a Thursday or Friday, have a long weekend, just schedule days off literally to do nothing. To go hang out, go sit at the mall and look around. But that kind of stuff is important, man.
Yeah. And it's something that we, especially in the Western culture, just kind of gets pushed to the back, burner. It's always like, do more, be more, grow more. And it's easy to fall into that trap when we don't take the time to even be present with ourselves enough to go, do I even really want that? Like, how many of us saw our parents and, other family members and just people in society hit that middle age and have that midlife crisis and go, and you're like, what is the reason that this guy needs a sports car and a new girlfriend now? Because he did what he was told to do. He did what he thought he was supposed to do. He never stopped to ask, is this what I really want? And, I get it. A lot of times with societal pressure, family pressure, it's like you get pushed in that direction. And especially culturally, in some cultures, I mean, that's huge. You're the firstborn son. You got to, take on the family and do the thing. But is that really for you? And until you get to that, hardcore, center place and go, is this for me? Do I really want this? And then acknowledge that and do that. So many of us have just kind of gone down the rabbit hole of shoulds. Well, I got to go to school, then I got to go to college, then I got to find a wife, then I got to have kids, I got to get this corporate job and work there for 40, 50 years, get my retirement. But is that what you really want to do? Does that feed your soul? And we have to slow down to feed our soul and find something, because if you can find something that you actually love to do, even if it's not make as much, or in a lot of times what I've seen nowadays, especially with the advent of all the online technologies and all the drop shipping things and all the different side hustles you can actually make more money a lot of times doing something you love to do, or at least adding something like a side hustle to what you love to do and freeing up yourself with time. That's one of the things that Dan said on Monday, was that he's working half as much as he used to. And he's much happier. He's still bringing home just as much money. He's still making just as many deals. But part of that slowing down is that focusing. Can you slow down enough to focus your energy in a healthy, positive way? And maybe you can do more with less. And I think it's one of the things in our society we lose, is like less can be more. The less you have, the more you appreciate it.
Yeah. I think we also need to keep in mind, in terms of importance, relationships. Relationships with people, relationships with friends, relationship with family, but just the connection involved with relationships, man, and just valuing the people who are around us. Because we're all, right now at this point, I've kind of settled on the fact that, guess what, the mortality rate is about 100%. So one day every single one of us won't be here, right? And so, so to appreciate the people who are in your life, to appreciate them now, I think back, this past year has actually been, more on the rougher side with me in terms of people who have passed away. I've been to more funerals this year that I didn't expect to be at last year than probably any other year. And so, just be able to appreciate the people you have around you, just to stop and just, honor people, thank people, give people flowers while they can smell them. All those kinds of things, the important relationships. You might have a significant other in your life, man, and just, it's so easy to focus on the stuff they don't do, or the stuff they didn't do, or the stuff you wish they would do, or they haven't done it in a long time. And but maybe sometimes you got to pause and I'm speaking to the choir right now, because I'm a professional at this, man. I'm a professional at what she didn't do for me today, or what I haven't gotten this week. I haven't gotten this text message this week, and blah 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 blah. But at the same time, maybe I need to stop and focus on the stuff that she does do, the stuff that my son does. When I cooked shrimp and grits last night, because I roll like that. That's right, your boy did it. And then I looked over, and my son had basically done all of the dishes while I was just there packing up the last bit of stuff. I mean, I didn't ask him, I didn't tell him. I mean, and he did it right too. I mean, and so, just the little stuff like that, man. But connection and relationships, man, is one of the other important things that I think we really need to focus on in our culture.
Yeah, it's the little things. And that's one of the things I'm glad you brought that up, is that so many people, when they get to the end of life, they're in hospice, or they're on their deathbed, and they're talking about, it's the little things, the little dinners, little things that you tend to, just daily stuff that you tend to overlook and not pay attention to. And even part of that, like you were saying, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if your attention is on the negative stuff, or your attention is on the what didn't get done, instead of training your brain to be in that attitude of gratitude and being like, I'm just appreciative that you're here. I'm appreciative we're together. I'm appreciative we get to eat this food together. Being appreciative of those little things will take you a long way into finding probably more happiness when you get to that place of crossing over and time to go to the next adventure, because you focus on the things that actually matter. Because so much of what we're told that matters, you find out. And I mean, there's unlimited examples of rich people and celebrities and things talk about money doesn't make you happy, and this doesn't make you happy, and all these people who climb to the top of the financial ladder and realize that ain't it. It's about the connections and the people and the time and the presence. So simplifying your life and getting really focused. I mean, I keep thinking about that old movie City Slickers with Billy Crystal and Jack Palance. He's like, it's about one thing. You find your one thing, and then you focus on that, and that's your secret to happiness. It's just so much truth in that. So find your one thing and simplify everything else, and focus on that.
And even when it comes to people, man, just reaching out and connecting with folks, man, and just texting somebody and let them know you're thinking about them. Ask somebody how they're doing, and or whatever. This, I mean, a random text, could help if somebody's in the hospital or something like that, man. It's just, maybe a visit, but maybe not. I mean, but either way, just letting somebody know you're thinking about it, man. So many of us, there's so many people, it can do so much good. Um, Pouring into other people's lives with just something small, just something small like a text message, man. Just letting people know, man, that they're important, that they're seen, that they're thought of. Because that just doesn't happen these days, man. Everybody, holds up mirrors to look at themselves, but not many people, look through windows, man, and look out at other people in terms of focusing on helping or doing something or shining a light in somebody else's direction, man. And so, being able to shine that light and spread some good, make somebody smile, man. When you go through Starbucks or somewhere, man, just complimenting somebody. At this dude at the office today, we passed each other in the door. He held the door for me. I thanked him. I looked down. I was like, man, I dig them shoes, man. I'm gonna need to get some of them. What size are they? But just just spreading some love. Just making somebody smile, man. Those kind of things are important as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, I mean, you do so well, and it started to probably change my mind. I used to think that my love languages were, quality time and acts of service, or physical touch. That's what it was. But then every time you're like, dude, you did this or you did that, and prop me up and give me some words of affirmation, I'm like, dude, and like I can feel it. I'm like, ooh, swells me up. And if that can work between two buddies, think about how that works with strangers and anybody else out there. And it reminds me of, there was a quote by George Lucas where he's talking about when he made Star Wars, the light side and the dark side. Light side was about compassion and being people focused and connection, and the dark side is about self interest and being self centered and greedy. And I'm like, oh, that's so it's so simple, but it's also so profound that's what's going on in the world. We're being taught to be and pushed to be self centered and greedy, and what we need to be, or what would be the most healthy version of who we could be, is that compassionate, connected person that's reaching out to others. So it's up to you. Flip the coin, you decide. But look at your life, take some time, schedule some downtime so you can actually look at your life and go, where am I at? Where do I want to go? What can I let go of? How can I simplify my life? What is my one thing that I can focus on that's going to be my thing for the future? And that thing can change. I mean, we're changing beings. So, with that one thing could be growing and being smart and capable and learning wisdom as a child. And the next, it could change to the family and helping your kids and helping them grow. And then, could be a community, whatever it is, but it's your thing. Find your thing and make it that one thing that's going to be important to you. And then simplify the rest of it. Don't allow the whole rest of the world to pile onto your plate.
All of this is counterculture, man. If you, I mean, this is me bringing my plane in for landing anyway. I think if you kind of buy into what culture says are the important things, you'll end up miserable, anxious, tired, stressed, broke. You'll end up in all the ways in life you don't want to be. And so we gotta be intentional about being counterculture with the things that are important, and make the important things, man. Make the stuff that matters, the stuff that will matter on our deathbed, the stuff that will matter, in our bed at night when we lay down to go to bed. And so a lot of these things that we're talking about, whether it's gratitude or presence or or planning space and downtime or relationships or any of these kind of things, man, these things are counterculture. You think about, none of that stuff is what social media tells you. None of that stuff is what the news will tell you. None of that stuff is what the rat race will tell you. So you got to be intentional to break out of that, man, to break the break the pattern or the rhythm or routine and get off of that crazy train, man, and begin to live life. And then when you do, then you have different priorities, and your priorities will dictate the quality of your life and have a room and space for all of those things, man. So I think all of these things are important, but we really need to be counterculture to focus on the important things on a daily basis, not the things that the world, our system, our society tells us that are important stuff, and go and produce and all this other kind of stuff. Because that'll just drive you into the ground and have you lonely and miserable.
Yeah, and in most cases, you're working for somebody else anyway, so it's time to work for yourself in one way or another. And world change starts with changing your world, changing yourself. They say think globally, act locally. Well, locally is you. Change your world, make you the best version of you can be, make yourself happy, and then attract other people like that, and then that will start a movement. You do you be all about you, and find your thing and finding what makes you happy and taking that time to get to know you, and then spread that joy, support other people doing the same thing. And then you can be that pebble in the pond that makes the ripples out in the world, because the important things are, love, appreciation, presence, time, and just being the best you can be.
Yeah.
So we want you to focus on that. Those are the most important things. I'm sure that list could go on forever, but for right now, I think that's good enough.
This is the most important thing right here. This blue testicle egg that he gave me to squeeze on, because otherwise, what you always hear would be a bunch of this kind of stuff. Because I'm fidgety, man, and so I'll do all that kind of stuff, and that'll be.
I'm a problem solver. I'm trying to solve problems over here. You
man.
just be fighting me.
I apologize, man, for making fun of the blue testicle egg that you gave me. I also got to go apologize to somebody right now for not appreciating her. But has nothing to do with this, by the way. But anyhow, thank you for your blue testicle egg. I appreciate you, man.
I was at the store yesterday, I think, and I saw another one that's a squishy thing too. I was like, maybe I need to get him another squishy thing. If you like that one better.
No, this is more than enough, man. This is way more than it's creepy. It's creepy in its way. Look at it. It's even ashy. Look at it, man. It gets all ashy, man.
Yeah, you told me
I'm not putting lotion on it. Don't you? You about to say put lotion on it. You
do you.
I mean, on this thing, man. I'm not
put lotion on it and put that wherever you want to. That's your thing.
Creepier, man. I don't roll like that, dude. You was about to say put lotion on it. I could tell. I ain't doing that.
I was gonna say, put lotion on it. Do your thing, man. Put that wherever
you want.
Holla
at your boys. Madmen of Masculinity, KLBC. MadmenRadio.com is our website. It's up.
It's back up.
We got that all sorted out. Man, it crashed for a little bit. And so MadmenRadio.com, KLDC 1220 AM in Denver, Facebook, YouTube, like, subscribe. Let us do this more. If you just hit the little freaking subscribe button, man, that'll really help us out. We're growing, man. We got a couple thousand subscribers. I don't know, something like that. And so, man, holla at your boys.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, become part of the Madmen Mafia. And speaking of Madmen Mafia and showing appreciation and stuff like that, we're going to drop in a little ad for my man Barry Overton.
When you think of buying or selling real estate, there's a name you can trust to serve your best interest. When you want knowledge and VIP service, there's one person you want. Barry Overton, Realtor.
Dude, he's got that voice, man. He's got that James Earl Jones voice, dude.
He's going to take our job, man.
You got that Barry.
Hey, holla at your boys. We love y'all. MadmenRadio.com. And with that, Madmen out.